Hi, it's Rachel Matlock again, Network Director of Telehealth Systems at Henry County Medical Center. We had a lot of great people messaging us during our live You Are the One in 2021 in sickness and in telehealth video that our whole video was sideways. And so everybody was tied up in our phones. We were not able to pick it up. And so we have a sideways video, and I won't pretend that I won't wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about that. But if we can't laugh at ourselves, what are we doing, right? So we just want to make sure that we have a right side up video for you to watch and to go over all of the things that we covered again. So maybe you won't get such a neck ache turning sideways to watch our video. So this is going to be the same material as the first one. We'll just kind of try to wrap it up and here we go. So, like I said, I'm Rachel Matlock, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about what telehealth is and kind of what that looks like, and maybe ease some of your nerves about what to expect if you have a telehealth visit. It's kind of been a buzzword since last year with the COVID-19 pandemic, and there are still quite a few people that aren't really aware of what telehealth or telemedicine is. And so I really just want to clear up some of that and maybe answer some of your questions. Also, if you have questions at the end of this video, since it's not live, feel free to comment and we'll do our best to answer those. Or you can also comment on the live video. It'll be the only one on our page that's sideways. So you should have a really good time finding it. You can't miss it. Feel free to share it and share this one as well if you don't want to give your friends a neck ache. So telehealth is often called telemedicine. Telemedicine is really just the medical part, but telehealth is really a blanket term that also encompasses behavioral health, mental health, education, such as nutritional counseling and things like that. It's really all of healthcare. So it's the use of electronic information and communication technology to provide care without you and your doctor having to be in the same place, which is just wonderful. If you have a phone, a computer, or a tablet that has internet access, then you have everything you need to have a successful telehealth visit. You might be surprised by the variety of care that you can actually receive via telehealth. Your doctor will decide whether telehealth is appropriate for you and your appointment in general. But if you need care, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic and these tough times that we're in, telehealth has been a really great way to continue to receive care without ever having to leave your home. And you might be surprised that some of your telehealth options include general health care like wellness visits, prescription refills for your medication that you might be taking, and things like nutrition counseling and classes to help manage chronic conditions. So there's really a full spectrum of things that you can benefit from using telehealth for. So how does it work? Sounds great, but how do we use it? Most telehealth visits will include video. All you need for this is a smartphone or a device with an internet connection and audio-video capabilities, like a tablet or a computer. And I know this is hilarious coming from me since my video was sideways, but yours won't be, I promise. Things happen. But if you've never had a healthcare visit that's not been in person, it might be a little nerve-wracking to think about what an e-visit or a telehealth visit is going to look like for you. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things of what to expect and tips to make your video call with your doctor the best that it can be. So a video visit is the closest telehealth option to an in-person visit that there is, and the goal is to make it as like an in-person visit because the goal is the same, to provide quality health care to our patients like you. If your telehealth appointment will address sensitive topics, really think about the following things before your appointment. Are you going to be able to find a private place to kind of separate yourself and carve out that moment for you and your doctor? If not, think about finding a private location in your home or maybe your car or somewhere in your office. I know myself, I've done telehealth visits with my doctor through in my car before, so that's a wonderful tool to be able to do that. Just if you live in a crowded house, try to separate yourself out. Also be familiar with how to use options like email, text, or perhaps the chat feature in your provider's telehealth platform, so you can communicate privately with your doctor, especially if you're concerned for safety reasons or you just don't want other people to hear about your conversations. And we don't really want everybody hearing our business with our doctor, so make sure you find that private place for you. So when did telehealth start? A lot of people think that telehealth is really a new thing that has exploded in the past couple of years, and really that's not true. We have heard a lot more about telehealth, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic, but the explosive growth that we've seen with telehealth it has its roots in NASA when they started developing it over 50 years ago. Through monitoring of physiological data of their astronauts during space missions using satellite technology. And so they had such success during their project using this concept. So NASA continued to fund education and projects concerning telehealth. So we have heard a lot about it lately since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen it explode in popularity, but remember, it's not a new technology. It's been around, but the popularity that we've seen is new, and it is very exciting. So as a result of this, a lot of insurance providers are beginning to cover telehealth or already are covering telehealth during the pandemic, and many have actually decided that they will cover telehealth even after the pandemic ends. So it's going to be permanently covered. But always check with your provider to make sure that telehealth visits are covered with your insurance carrier, because we like surprises, but not all surprises. So you want to know that up front. A few tips to prepare you for your virtual visit. There are a few things that you can do ahead of time to make you feel at your most comfortable and set you up for success with your telehealth appointment, and to make sure things run smoothly, especially if you're using video to talk to your doctor, because we know things don't always go smoothly with video. So first, you're going to want to write it down, just like you do with your regular doctor's appointments. Write down any important information that you want your doctor to know. Make a list of your current medications, or maybe have the bottles there with you so you can talk to your doctor about them just like you would at a regular appointment. Write down any of your symptoms, questions, or concerns that you want to discuss with your provider during your appointment. That way you don't forget them. If your doctor has requested certain information from you, such as your temperature or your weight, make sure that you have that information available before you start your visit. Also, make sure you have paper to take notes. That way, if your doctor tells you any instructions or any information that you really want to remember, that you have something handy to take that note down. You're also going to want to check your email for instructions from your doctor's office. Be sure to review any emails, texts, or any other correspondence that they might have for you, giving you instructions on how to launch that telehealth visit, and any information you might need to know before your appointment. You're also going to want to reduce background noise. During quarantine and lockdown, we all learned that our houses are probably noisier than they used to be, but just make sure, like I said earlier, that you carve out this time for you and your doctor to really talk with each other and have that bit of privacy. So if there's an activity that your kids can do, or maybe if you can get your roommates out of the house for a little bit and have that quiet time, maybe try to do that, and it's really in your best interests. Also, you want to make sure you close out any other apps or applications that you have open. This might not matter on a computer or a laptop, but you want to really reduce things that are going to use up your bandwidth or your internet connection and possibly make your video connection slower. And even if it doesn't make you slower, you want to reduce as many distractions as you can to make sure that you really are concentrating on that visit. My last tip, I guess, for a telehealth appointment is to get camera ready. And I don't really mean just fixing your hair and making sure you look great for your visit. You want to make sure that you have a spot that has plenty of light. That's not too much light and not too little light. You don't want to have a glowing halo all around you because you're in the bright sun and you can't see your provider, or he can't see you, or she can't see you. You also don't want to be in a room that's too dark or dimly lit. So just make sure you have the right amount of light, because you want to see them and they want to see you. Also, make sure your camera is steady. If you know that you are like me and have problems keeping a phone steady and it wiggles a lot, or if you just want to be more comfortable, make sure you use a computer or a laptop. That'll eliminate that. If that's not an option, take your phone and maybe prop it up on your desk or on a table. I've often used my coffee cup to prop my phone up, and that'll really help you with that steadiness, because you want to make sure that you get comfortable, because you're going to have an easier time focusing on your visit if you're comfortable and your body's comfortable. And you're not going to be comfortable if your arm's up here the whole time and you're worried about what you look like, or if you're keeping your phone steady enough. So those are all the tips that I have for a telehealth visit and for getting you ready for maybe your first telehealth visit. Or even if you've had telehealth visits before, just learning how to make them a little bit more smoother. Next and last, I just want to tell you a little bit about what we're trying to do here with telehealth in Henry County and the surrounding areas. The grant that I work under is called the Rural Health Network Development Grant. It is a lot to say, and I do mix it up sometimes. But this is a grant that was received by the Paris and Henry County Healthcare Foundation in July of last year. And they received it from the Health Resources and Services Administration, HRSA. You might have heard them called that before. This grant is really going to allow us to expand our telehealth services here at Henry County Medical Center, as well as telehealth services with our network partners at Hardeman County Community Health Center and Lifespan Health in Hardin County. The goal of this grant is to improve access to quality health care to our patients by making telehealth more available to our patients in the network, not just here. And that's huge, because while we've heard a lot about telehealth, it's kind of had a slower growth rate in rural areas, and it's easy to see why, but that's definitely something we're excited to be improving upon. This is going to allow us to connect our patients to specialists and make referrals within our network. And that's so exciting for those folks that have a hard time because they have to travel so far, perhaps, to see a specialist, maybe in Nashville or Memphis. So we're really excited for the future being able to help with that. We're currently building our network and our telehealth capacity, so make sure you're on the lookout for updates from us on our Facebook page and on our website, because we grow and expand and something new is happening every single day. Currently, patients in Henry County, we've just started up our telehealth platform, Mend, and so you can use Mend for your telehealth visits at Eagle Creek Clinic in Buchanan or at Transitions Health here in Paris. You can also find out more about our grant and this opportunity at our website at www.hcmc-tn.org. And once again, thank you for watching this video. We're glad it's right side up this time. You can also watch the sideways one, your choice, but we really appreciate it, and thank you so much.